Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks. I'm Clutch, joined by Rookhill, and we're giving out gold codes for 2,100 gold, 200,000 credits, and 7 days of premium to people that send in a picture or a tweet at WGLNA.com of their favorite class of tanks, be it lights, mediums, heavies, tank destroyers, or artillery. And Ben sent one in to us. He says, lights for the win. I miss my T50-2, but I'm starting to get my MT25 rolling. Hashtag spotting, hashtag pacifism. And there you see his stats. Well done, Ben. Thanks for sending that in. We're going to send you a code so you can continue to do well.
Stats.
I know, 250, man. T52.
I'm going to need a moment.
I know. I know. You know what's so funny is on our Facebook page, we posted a video about the T52, and people went, "Oh, you're trolling us, WGLNA, it hurts."
My heart.
And I commented and said, nostalgia.
Nostalgia, but it hurts just a little bit.
I know. Maybe it'll come back one day. Face-off time between Top Tier and No Limit. Good evening, gentlemen.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, guys.
All right, No Limit. You ready to fight?
Yeah, last night was kind of stupid, I think. The guys just didn't show up and didn't have enough to field a team.
Well, you're here now. You're ready to go.
Yes, sir.
So we appreciate you being here and finishing out the season. Top Tier, you guys are 3-1. Tell me about that cross push you had on mines in your last series.
Well, like we saw some previous games on mines, and pretty much every single team just went for the hill, tried to take the hill with 1390s. So we thought, why not surprise them and just rush down the hill and use no autoloaders, and it worked.
It did work. It did work. Changing it once again.
Yeah, and we did see two teams do that strat, but they failed. What made them fail where you guys succeeded?
I think that we kind of went over the edge a little bit since we brought like no autoloaders, and we used Panther 2s, which I think only has been used once or twice in WGLNA. So, maybe that threw simple tankers off a little bit, or maybe it's just a really good combination. We don't know.
Well, they do a fantastic DPM, don't they?
Yeah, they do. That's why we use them.
Floppy Giraffe, you are a big-time community member. We always see you active in Skype. So, again, we do appreciate you leading your team through the rest of this season, even though you guys have had a tough season so far. With that being said, any words you have for Top Tier and Valatio before we start?
Best of luck to you. We're going to do our best to be a spoiler tonight. Like we still are on the cusp of being able to not be one of the auto-relegated teams. So that's what we're going for right now.
You got something to fight for. Good luck with that.
Exactly.
Valatio, any words for No Limit?
Good luck to you too.
All right. No Limit, you have the higher seed. Heads or tails in the coin flip?
Tails.
Tails will be the call. And heads is the flip. Top Tier, you get map choice or defer?
We will defer.
Defer. No Limit, your map choice.
Ensk.
Ensk will be the map choice. Spawn point, Top Tier.
South.
South side on Ensk for Top Tier. North for No Limit. Gentlemen, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Betting is now open. Please place your bets on the chat. If you have any questions, follow the syntax exactly first. If you have questions after that, ask a mod or someone that's in there. And remember, the person that performs the best for the end of this week will take home, end of this week is tonight, will take home a premium tank, a Tier 8 tank of their choice. And for the top performer of the season, they will take home a Type 59 tank in their garage, a tank that you can no longer get in the store. We do have some hookups for you guys that participate in our giveaways, and we thank you so much for participating in the league, the Gold League for World of Tanks, and helping the American scene continue to grow here. We're actually good at a game in esports, and we can beat the rest of the world. We are trying to cultivate the best of the best here, and Fulcrum Gaming so far is leading that charge with Simp right behind them, but it's still anybody's game, especially with these two teams, with Top Tier performing very well. No Limit having a really tough season, but the first map, Ensk, what do we have?
Well, for Ensk, I'm not expecting much along the lines of Season 2 meta. I'm thinking Season 3 meta / Season 1 level play. What we actually have is we have teams going from the south or the north, doesn't really matter, heading just towards the north block, and that'll be the focus for both of these teams, I think, to eventually their goal be the north block. Now, they may not directly go to the north block from the south. They may take the south block and then towards the courtyard and maybe split from there. But from the north side, maybe to the district, splitting up to get some early shots and coverage across the courtyard and the one line. Following that, it does make a lot of sense to go through the north block instead of going around Going around is very risky, in my opinion, but you can make it work. So through the north block and maybe a flank around to attack tanks that could be in positions, you know, right along the F row. But it's hard to tell because a lot of things can happen that can really affect the mid game. Just early game though, you can see the district. I don't expect the prairie or the lumberyard all that much from either team. Any predictions from you though, Clutch?
Railroad.
Railroad
Tracks. I think it's going to be a top tier is thinking railroad tracks. They're a choo-choo train of destruction. And the Pershing, we've seen the Pershing perform very well in this map, especially with Simple Tankers and Mournblade. Top tier took over Simple Tankers, though.
Yeah, they took them out. Simple Tankers wasn't as consistent, though, I think, this season. Something's off with them. I haven't understood quite what it was.
I feel it was experimentation at the beginning, and they lost a bit of their pace.
Their momentum, and that just morale kind of hitting them hard.
Well, also other teams are getting really good.
Yeah, you have a point there.
The elevation of the talent from the the 9 to 16 bracket, so you could say, or section of the league is fighting even harder to get into the top 8 bracket.
That is a fair point. Top tier is at 3-1 in the season. Of course, No Limit is 0-5. Now, they are so demoralized. That sucks. But the thing is, I think they can still get out maybe 1 or 2. I think they have 1 or 2 more matches. So they could get out 1 or 2 more wins. They could reasonably beat top tier if they're at the top of their game tonight. Top tier, though, I mean, they are fantastic playing right now.
The only loss they've had so far is against Fulcrum Gaming, which is a very, very tough matchup for them. And they were 3-0'd. But with that out of the way, they can focus on the rest of the teams compared to being in another position where we're 3-1 and we still have to go up against Fulcrum Gaming. That's going to be tough. You don't want to automatically count yourselves out, and we don't want to either as a commentator.
I think a lot of teams though do.
They think practically. They think pragmatically, and they think, all right, that's going to be a loss.
Yeah, but
how do we focus on the other
stuff? But with
stuff?
that mentality, I think it hurts your ability to perform at your peak when you don't believe that you can bring a win. You just kind of put yourselves down. I think that's what might happen in No Limit today.
Possibly. Let's jump into battle number 1 for match number 3 of the night. Top tier versus No Limit on Ensk.
I'm looking at these teams. I see for the blue team, 2 5100s, 2 IS6, 3 IS6s. That's
top tier.
Okay, top tier. Interesting choice. And on the other side, No Limit will be bringing 3 5100s and 2 IS3s. Let's see. IS6s, Fire APCR, not the best pen. Vallejo thinks that a better IS6 player can outplay an IS3. We'll have to see if that happens. Of course, post-game, I'm going to be looking at the stats for how many shots these guys pen. The IS6 doesn't have the strongest turret, has a good fire rate, not the best accuracy, but in a brawl, accuracy is almost a non-factor, and fire rate, DPM, will be what comes out on top. We'll have to see what happens. And as we can look at the opening move, very aggressive out of top tier from the south. They're pushing all the way up in the Echo 2 courtyard, already taking map control in the north. No Limit, playing very defensively.
Very defensive, waiting for top tier to come to them, and top tier
but look
doing
at the one-line clutch. Vallejo is already making his way around. Their tanks waiting on that corner.
Oh, there are. Compton 3-1-0 at Sea Otter. Compton takes a big hit in his tracks, but no damage against his tank. And Sea Otter in the 5100 wants to poke out, but they need to be very careful. You don't want to play corner games against this. Vallejo takes a big hit in his IS-6 as well. And here comes the other push. He fires back at Urtai. And now Compton 310 and Sea Otter Defiler Seals have to adjust against where top tier is.
Oh, Vallejo actually bouncing numerous shells from the 5100s. Urtai is 1v1ing versus the IS-6 Explosion Man. We'll have to see who wins in that. But more importantly, a big fight. Sublime Banana is caught out in the open. Huge crossfire down to 566, 279. Compton is down to 203, but Sublime Banana will not be able to get off the finishing shell. Now Explosion Man is able to beat out Urtai in the IS-6 in the one line. T1's taking out T1s. There's a lot of them down. There's only each floppy giraffe still alive. Now E63 and Memory Lake are pushing forward, looking for that, but Sea Otter Defiler Seals waiting there, covering his battle buddy, but he's not able to do it well enough. E63 takes down Compton.
Sea Otter Defiler Seals, I think he is out. I think he's completely out. And yes, he is. And he's focusing on Memory Leak, who is full, and E63M6 gets the kill. The three 5100s, the remaining 5100s out of shots here. Mexi Bean now being chased by the IS-3, the consistent fire tank. 650 HP. Here comes Explosion Man. They're going to get him in a corner and take him down in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it.
IS-6s are actually working. in this strategy. Velatio bringing different tanks. He likes T-32s all the time, and now on city maps, enjoying the IS-6 superiority. Very surprised to see it work so well. Velatio bounced a lot of shells, but Static is reloaded now. Bounces onto E63, not used to playing against this tank, doesn't know the armor layout, and so wastes a shell. But GG.
That's it.
Is it.
One more tank left alive, Sloppy Giraffe to the south, as you mentioned, Rootkill, and 2 IS-6s are moving very quickly to the south to kill him as soon as possible. IS-6s, we'll have to look at the stats again for the damage they dealt, but it was having the 5100s out of shots allowed them to clean up what was left of No Limit.
They focused on those IS-3s. They picked the right target. With the IS-3s dead, there was nothing left to compete with the IS-6s as far as deep, consistent damage. And the IS-6s, they have great health pool, 1550 hit points. It's like the 110 level. And there they found a Floppy Giraffe. Explosion Man looking for it. And might just go for the ram, actually.
Boom. And Floppy Giraffe falls. Top tier takes battle number 1 on Ensk against No Limit.
Explosion Man had HE loaded right at the end. Very adorable right there.
That's cute.
Yep.
That's cute. Let's look at the score of these IS-6s. E63M6, 8 for 8, 2,296 damage.
And look at potential damage received. He has 1,890 potential damage received.
Explosion Man was 6 for 9 with splash damage on one of the hits from that shell. Almost 2,000 damage. And the rest, Memory Leak and Sublime Banana, 4 for 6 and 4 for 4, only able to get 1 drum out each on their tanks.
Yeah, really. Oh, Velatio gets focused down. Interesting. But the thing is, look at Velatio's potential damage received.
Wow.
That's 2,580 potential damage received. That is an effective IS-6 driver right there, taking a lot of potential damage. IS-3s have done this before, but this proves that the IS-6 might be valid. We'll have to see how that goes. But the thing is, Fulcrum Gaming, Simp, no one else has really said the IS-6 is worth it. Only Top Tier is convinced of the validity of this tank.
I'll have to get the opinion of the most professional Soviet, that is Soviet. Maybe off camera get his thoughts about it.
It is a Russian tank, so I'm sure he'll love it just the same as any other tank. Of course, he does believe the IS-3 is the best tank in space.
Yep.
But IS-6 might be second best tank in space for him. Don't know.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Well, where does No Limit go from here? They go to Prokhorovka. They go for the mobility, and they are going to. This is going to be tough because you have Top Tier, the top performer when it comes to T-32 so far in this season, and this tank is not as fast as a Pershing, but it is applicable because of the HP value and armor compared to these lighter tanks that are used on Prokhorovka.
Precisely. But I see Velatio in the IS-6 still. So
bring the IS-6 to
maybe he
Prokhorovka.
doesn't even care. Maybe he says, doesn't matter what tanks we bring, we'll beat No Limit. And if he brings the IS-6 to this, I'll be very surprised. A little bit bummed if they win, because I think if you bring an IS-6 to this map and you win, that just says No Limit is not in a place right now. It says they're just defeated and they're just not in the mental position to win a match, I think.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough to be in that type of position, and it's understandable as well.
It's hard to keep morale up when you lose a lot.
Yeah.
It just, when you can't get your wins, when you cannot just get it rolling, no matter how hard you practice. Because remember, everyone in this league they're the top level of players in World of Tanks. These people are exceptional in teamwork, as individual players. They're all very good. It's just that when you stack up the best players against the best players and you put them on teams, sometimes there are teams that just get along better, play better, have a better commander, and make their shots count. It's just it's really unfortunate to see that No Limit's unable to make it happen.
I wonder what the bets are right now. If anyone bet on No Limit and No Limit takes it, I wonder what the spread would be between that.
Well, I'm looking down actually, and I'm seeing a lot. It's been 10 minutes now.
Yes.
So I'm
There's
seeing
a
top
10-minute
tier.
yeah.
No, top tier, No Limit. Lots of top tier though. A few
Okay.
people betting on No Limit. Almost everyone betting on top tier.
Some people that don't know, there is a 10-minute delay on the stream itself, so there is no chance of cheating. We want to take away the temptation completely.
Yeah.
So in case anyone are wondering, hey, can't they watch while they're from at home? No, there's a 10-minute delay, so it's practically impossible for them to see what's happening.
Exactly.
And we have that because we want to keep it fair for everyone, and everyone does appreciate it. But we also, wait a second. Yes, I think we're going to see some T-32s in Prokhorovka. Makes me a very happy man. I really like T-32 tank for multiple reasons, and I explain it many, many times, especially in the garage. But overall, I like that it can be the jack of all trades in a lot of scenarios. I'm not overly obsessed with the tank. There are other great tanks out there. I've been playing the IS-3.
Completely obsessed with that tank.
Well, okay, all right. The first step is to admit that you have a problem.
It's not a...
Yeah. No, I don't have a problem.
Hi,
I'm
Clutch. Hi, Clutch.
Hi, Clutch. And I like T-32s. There's no problem playing T-32 or being in love with the tank. It's time for battle number 2, top tier versus No Limit on Prokhorovka. Let's battle.
Well, someone has maybe an unhealthy obsession with T-32s. We're seeing 3 of them for top tier, and they're actually going to bring 2 WZ-132s.
If it works, don't change it.
Hey, they're bringing WZ-132s as their scouts. A lot of all consistent fire for top tier. They're sticking it to me with these 132s. I'm saying WZ-132s with the 85 aren't the best tank to bring. Going to fizzle shots a lot, but you have great accuracy on the move and fantastic DPM output. So go for it, Memory Leak. Go for it, Uberlichi. Let's see what you guys can do. Very fast tank.
Pershing T-32 and 1390s on the side of the red team. That's No Limit. I'm going to be following them. Sea Otter Defiler of Seals will be in the T-32. And look at this East play coming out of this team.
Yeah, scouting. Memory Leak able to spot Sea Otter Defiler of Seals in this opening run. Doesn't even have to go very far. Sea Otter just not having... just even the camo value at max for his crew. Still not able to escape Memory Leak with optics. Memory Leak, though, does approach the tracks and does stop for a moment. He spots Urtai, Static, and Compton, all in 1390s. And he has to back off. Luckily for him, he doesn't take any fire yet. And it looks like the T-32s are gonna... This looks like a repeat of what we've seen in the past. These T-32s might just go straight over the tracks, not even caring, and begin a brawl.
Well, Sea Otter Defiler of Seals is to the south, and he could be in a good position to track one of these tanks, allowing the rest of the autoloaders to rain hell upon him.
Memory Leak is covering his man Compton, and he proxy spots him over the tracks. Looks like he's going to peek up. Got that WZ-132 on a 1390. Maybe the T-32s push right through the middle. WZ comes around the north. Nice crossfire potential I'm seeing for the top tier. No Limit, though. What's panning out for their team? Not a whole lot.
Well, shots being fired against Squirrel Tech. That's what's panning out. The Pershing hits again from other side. Just a great pincer attack. Beautiful coming out of top tier. Memory Leak takes another hit against Squirrel Tag. Once he reloads, he's going to move over and fire again. Compton 310 in the 1390 trying to get some fire back at Memory Leak. Pershing.
Explosion Man and Delatio both connect with Sea Otter Defiler of Seals. Exceptional T-32 play, making connections where Sea Otter cannot. Sea Otter's done 900 hit points now.
2 more WZ-132 shots land in the Compton and Squirrel Tag. That first hit from Squirrel Tag lands into the side of Uberlichi.
But
another one hits Memory Leak.
T-32 is pushing straight over. Velatio leads the way. Explosion Man right behind him with E63 in tow. Guns looking right for Velatio, left for Explosion, and E63 looking left. Velatio has got his man. He's going to 1v1 that, but Urtai is on the hill. He has shots into these T-32s, and he is making plenty of connections right now. But in the north, there's a fight.
Yep, Memory Leak and Uberlichi pushing in against the 1390 of Compton 310. The T1 even getting in some shots there. Compton takes a big hit from Uberlichi, and Velatio is able to take down Static on the other side as Memory Leak and Uberlichi clean up that 1390. Urtai left alive, still way far away on the hill. Last tier 8 left. And no tanks have fallen on the side of top tier. T-32, no cons.
Yeah, even one of them has no damage done. That is Explosion E63, still at full health, didn't take a single hit. And T1's looking around for other T1s. Explosion Man, though, is down to 282. They almost got a tier 8 down. Urtai is finally spotted. And now WZ-132s look to be climbing the hill. Urtai misses on Memory Leak. Has to back off. Now he's just trapped. He could maybe kill these WZ-132s and make a bit of an escape, but E63 is waiting for him. There. One WZ-132 goes down.
Well, that's one out of how many? 2? Another one, and then multiple.
The other one's at 488, and E63 climbs the hill.
They're climbing both sides. Urtai saying, come at me, bro! Urtai, Lone Survivor. Hashtag Lone Survivor, starring Mark Wahlberg.
He's going to do exactly what they did. Run down the hill. Run down the hill, guys. Fall back.
Oh, man. Uberlichi down to 21. And E63 M6 in the T-32 pushing up.
But no one's going to be able to save
there
Urtai.
He goes.
Urtai is so beat
Landing
up
the
now.
other shot.
Oh, barely avoids a shot from E63. E63 blows the shot. He will be reloaded in about 3, 2, 1. Next shot up. Misses. And Urtai is going to be able to get away.
1390 cruising very, very fast.
But now he's
Can
loaded.
he get there? Can he get there?
E63.
Going through the house again. Somebody's going to be upset when they come home from work.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about this.
Oh, and he gets tracked.
Oh.
He gets tracked.
He's not even spotted.
He
They
gets
don't see
tracked, but he's able to move out of there. 5 minutes, 26 seconds, two tanks.
Urtai now is spotted.
2 tanks are going to be on the south. Urtai is going to have to stop that. Using the railroad tracks for cover, he's still putting in a fight here on the second battle.
But Vallecio's about to roll up. I think Vallecio may be able to finish him off. Vallecio just about there. Spots Urtai. Zeroes a shot.
And gets it right after he fires on the T1. Top tier wins it. 2-0 so far in Prokhorovka. Well played. The WC-132s at the top, dealing out that damage while the T-32s push in and go for the isolation. Overmatching the consistent fire takes indeed, but still the 1390s with that burst damage, if they're able to single target those tanks on the side, such as a Pershing, could have been a different story.
Yeah, just not able to do it. No Limit getting shut down really easily by Top Tier. Top Tier bringing a strat that I don't know if that would work against a team like Fulcrum Gaming. Well, as we see, it didn't.
It didn't
yeah,
work against Fulcrum Gaming.
I don't think it would work against a top-level team. Here, though, it works against No Limit. No Limit, I don't think, is in the best place right now. I think they're really demoralized and kind of shaken up. Yeah. They're not. I don't think they're able to deflect that kind of aggression.
Let's take a quick commercial break. We come back. The series continues. Top Tier versus No Limit in battle number 3. You're watching the Gold League for World of Tanks.
Welcome back to the garage. Let's take a look at the equipment and crew skills for your Rom Borsig Waffenträger. Since this take is all about firepower, you want to fire faster and more accurately. Your first piece of equipment should be the long-range caliber tank gun rammer, reducing loading time by 10%. Next up is the enhanced gun laying drive, adding plus 10% to aiming speed. The third option could be the binocular telescope, adding plus 25% to view range when stationary, or coated optics, adding plus 10% to view range at all times. Another possible combination is Camo Net, reducing the detection chance of the vehicle when stationary, and binocular telescope. Now for the crew skills. For the commander, Sixth Sense, Camouflage, Brothers in Arms. For the gunner, Camouflage, Brothers in Arms, and Armor. For the driver, Camouflage, Brothers in Arms, and Off-Road Driving. For the loader, Camouflage, Brothers in Arms, and Adrenaline Rush. With the right tools and skills on your quote-unquote rumba, it's time to show up and blow up on the battlefield.
Time to show up and blow up indeed. Top Tier, taking out No Limit on, what was the first map?
First map was Ensk.
Ensk, and then on Prokhorovka. Gotta write it down.
Yeah. And I'm actually seeing in the chat now they're taking Vallecio and Explosion Man up. They're moving down. They're moving Sublime Banana and MC Black into the tanker pool. So Vallecio is not going to be in here. They're going to be pulling up, I guess, the second string to give them some practice.
That's a good way to put it, the second string, in order to get that much-needed real-world experience.
Yeah, they need to practice playing as a team, especially in the professional setting. MC Black has played before, and so has Sublime. There's nothing wrong with them as tankers. They seem to be doing well enough. But it's Vallecio saying, you know what, I'm here all the time. Explosion being another guy who's here all the time, or maybe has something else he can do with his time. And these other guys coming up, Sublime, MC Black, we'll see how they perform on Himmelsdorf.
Indeed, indeed. Himmelsdorf, a map that we see a lot of crazy engagements happening. We see some play where the hillside is discovered and scouted that a heavy tank's there, which allows the team that did scout it to push either on the west or sometimes down Tank Alley. And we're seeing more utilization of the courtyard. So still anybody's game here, but it comes down to the type of tanks that are brought, usually 3 IS-3s and 2 5100s, or 3 5100s and 2 IS-3s, or vice versa. Yeah,
sometimes we'll see a 110, but I'm not seeing one getting picked for either team this time. It looks like very traditional lineups from both teams. Of course, Vallecio's not going to be here for Top Tier this time, so someone else is going to be calling. I think Vallecio calls for the battles. I'll have to ask to verify, but I was fairly certain.
I think so as well.
Yeah,
I
think
the leader of the team.
Yeah. Well, generally the captain calls, but sometimes the people on the face-offs are not the people who are calling.
Exactly. Well, Nagatron is a captain, but Friction calls.
And the Nagatron kind of just a backup caller.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 3. It will take place on Himmelsdorf between Top Tier and No Limit. Can Top Tier close it out 3-0? Let's find out.
Taking a look at the tanks, identical lineups on both sides, 2 5100s and 3 IS-3s. MC Black and Uper Lichy are in the 5100s, the Agamemnon E63 and Sublime Banana in IS-3s, Backstas and Memory Leak in T1s. On the other side, Squirrel Tag and Static are those 5100s, and Compton 310, Urtai Seattle Defiler of Seals for the IS-3s, Floppy Giraffe and Durasta in T1 Cunninghams.
Let's go ahead and follow the T1s, which position they're going to take. Durasta, I'll follow him as he's going to wait for Squirrel Tag to move in front of him before he pays his homage to the church, the altar of RNGesus, and then moves to the west.
Of course, got to destroy that at the beginning of the battle.
Boom.
It'll guarantee you better RNG.
Takes it down. You can now shoot through the supplies, correct?
You can most destructible cover.
Yeah.
Actually, I think almost all destructible cover you can shoot through and still pen. We saw one yesterday on Ensk, and I was able to get a really clean one in a pub match. I think yesterday, because it's hard to verify that works. Because sometimes you'll shoot through cover and you'll just bounce, but you don't get a sound notification back yet. So a little bit of a glitch, a little bit of a glitch kind of confuses people. Oh, Urtai takes fire from E63, but no connections yet. There's a T1 spotted by Agamemnon behind the... that is the fountain in the field.
Oh, that's Floppy Giraffe in the T1.
Yeah.
They're seeing all the positioning right now, at least part of it for No Limit.
So they're spotting these IS-3s?
Well, No Limit sees Agamemnon.
No,
They can't. They saw the other one that was next to him. I can't remember who it was. Next to
Banana?
Agamemnon.
Oh, they see E63, but do they see Banana? He's further to the
No,
west.
they only see Agamemnon now. Before that, they probably saw E63, M6.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like Agamemnon's able to actually get fire onto Compton.
They keep shooting. The consistent fire of the IS-3s are continuing their volley into that section, moving through those windows and are able to land against Compton. As Squirrel Taxi, Defiler of Seals, Static, and Urtai move towards a western side, crossing the flag cap. And we have a split from Top Tier.
Yeah. Although it does look like Top Tier's, they don't see that movement out of No Limit. I see No Limit actually heading to the southwest. And I don't think that Top Tier's picked up on that yet. Still got an IS-3 looking for trading in the keyholes to the south on the G line. Compton is spotted. Compton's looking for shots, I think, onto the IS-3 Agamemnon. But still not able to connect. Agamemnon's in the lead in this situation. Compton, though, took a hit. Not very good when your IS-3s are trading and not coming out on top.
Yeah, not really working in their favor yet. F5 Giraffe still behind the fountain, trying to scout as much as he can. Taking a little bit of fire for the T1 up top, and Backstabs from above next to the castle snipes in his T1. Floppy Giraffe, great play coming out of the T1.
Yeah, Backstabs taking that T1 lead is now going to actually continue on the hill going south. And he may spot something, but I don't think he's going to run into anything. I don't see anything on the minimap. Of course, Backstabs has no idea of this. Top Tier has a huge T1 advantage and a positional advantage. I see now they have hill control, and because of that, they're actually covered to cross the field a little bit. So a lot of advantage there going to Top Tier. No Limit. I'm really sorry for him right now. They lost the T1. Floppy Giraffe not being covered well enough. They needed hill cover to keep him safe.
That they did. And now No Limits. They're still back in their base, and Top Tier has two-thirds map control, especially with Backstabs up on the hill. They know he's still up there, and the 5100 maybe go over to chase, or at least
well,
put
if he
up
does
a
that,
wall
we
of
could see
resistance.
we could see a huge push though out of Top
Oh,
Tier.
of course.
But Top Tier is really spread. Yeah. Actually, no, that could work. No Limit could push this, kill the T1. Top Tier's too spread out to make a real
because of the western
concerted
tanks.
push. Yeah, they're too far out. By the time they get into the fight, if some members of Top Tier pushed up the 8-line, Top Tier 8-line push would be too soon, and if they delayed it, the 5100 that went to the hill could actually return to the rest of the group in time, and actually maybe even get a reload. So that could be a smart move. Of course, Top Tier's positions haven't been spotted or scouted at all. Yeah, so that's not a situation that's going to happen. That's not reasonably going to happen. We're going to see a push out of top tier, no limit. It doesn't look like they're going to send anyone to the hill. Because it feels like a trap, I guess.
It's a trap.
It would feel like a trap. It's not, though.
Not a lot of movement still out of no limit. As we jump between the two, the different tanks, Urtai in the IS-3 covering one hill approach, Static in the other one. They're waiting for the trigger to be pulled from top tier. Jumping over to Squirrel Tag in the 5100. He is where Sea Otter Defiler of Seals is in the IS-3. And there's a stats for Squirrel Tag, and there's 10 games in the 5100 so far on the screen. 4 minutes and 49 seconds. This is the game for top tier to win it, to continue in the series 4-1. However, No Limit could still perform a huge comeback here. Don't want to count out anyone yet. No Limit is the underdog. And I'm trying to figure out what top tier is actually waiting for scouting-wise. I would prefer to send one of the T1s to the west and push all the way down to see if there's any tanks there, any heavy tanks there. It would be sacrificial unless they only find the T1 and fight it.
Well, they didn't see a lot of positions out of No Limit for a while. They saw some at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And they traded some fire, they saw some tanks, and then they didn't see a whole lot because those tanks pulled back. Now, they probably assumed they were still there, and they hadn't figured out what they were going to do. It looks like they're grouping up to attack, though.
Well,
but that would be a little risky. They are moving a T1 up on the hill, 2 of them actually. Both Backstaz and Memory Leak is coming to join them, so they're probably going to send those 2 T1s as a pair, a hit squad of them, and the 2 of them will make it into the backfield. Once they make it into the backfield, they can get some scouting done probably, and wreak all sorts of havoc on their opponent. Because the thing is, 2 T1s on cap or 2 T1s in the back of some 5100s at decent range. That's a little damage, but that's also a huge distraction. And then we'll see the top tier push. It just takes a whole, like 3 minutes for Memory Leak to get from the west side to the east side, and that's what the delay I think was for top tier. Now they are grouped up, but they are still in a slightly defensive position, getting ready to, I think, start an engagement. And actually, No Limit's going to start the push as the T1s make their way to cap. They're going to start this fight, and they're hoping to get that T1 onto cap and win that way. Of course, there's a T8 out of position. E63 moves forward. Sublime Banana moves forward. Urtai taking a hit from the North 5100s. And now Compton and Sea Otter are focusing on E63. E63 down to 196. One more hit will take him down. And Sea Otter, no, Squirrel Tag will get the hit. And Sea Otter will actually be able to put that on Sublime Banana, but it's a bounce.
Firefight continues as the 2 T1s are on the flag cap for top tier. And now it's 26 seconds for them to continue this firefight to live. He does fall. Sublime Banana focusing his fire against 2. One of the IS-3s obviously trying to take him down, but Urtai is going to turn over to the 5100s.
Sublime Banana's on fire, burning 117, 91, 70, 54, 43, 37, 5, and he's taken down by Sea Otter Defiler of Seals.
Urtai takes another hit. 5 seconds left for top tier to close out the series. But no, does the T1 get the kill? No, it's one of the heavy tanks that moved to the south. Mr. Black is surrounded. The reset happened as Floppy Giraffe was taken down.
Boom, that is Static taking him down. And in the north, they even win the brawl. MC Black down to 129. Sea Otter Defiler of Seals should have the next shot. And he will.
Memory Link and Bastaz are down. That's it. And that's going to be a victory for No Limit.
Interesting.
It's not going to be a 3-0.
There's some fight No Limit. That's what we're looking for.
Took a long time to try to set up that fight, though, so we're waiting for the push. Finally, it happened. The Tank Alley section from top tier. Not really top tier's game, I would say, because of the long defensive play, and they did not utilize the west whatsoever in scouting.
Neither team utilized much of the west.
Well, they had one tier 1 to the south and a defensive place for No Limit, but that was it.
Well, they actually had one of their own out in the west for a while, but they left, put him in the east because they had east side control. Floppy Draft had gone down in the middle. So they said, we have hill control. Let's take our 2 T1s and have them sneak into the back line. There's almost never anyone along the 0 line and then the K line on the approach to the base, but there are tanks sometimes watching the base. So it's reasonable if you start a fight at the same time as that cap pressure that you'll win. Of course, because No Limit did such an exceptional job in that brawl, they did way better than top tier. They completely outplayed them. Remember, Vallecio was out of the fight, so was Explosion Man. They took them out of this battle. Actually brought in 2 other people, so someone else was calling this. It was not Vallecio.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break. We come back, battle number 4 of No Limit versus top tier. You're watching the Gold League for World of Tanks. Welcome back. Still not in the training mode yet, so not sure what's going on with one of the players. We'll have to hear from our admin. But a quick update on the Golden Globes. Bryan Cranston wins for Breaking Bad, Best Actor. Best Actress in a TV Series, Robin Wright from House of Cards. Have you watched House of Cards?
Oh, yeah. I love House of Cards.
Wow, such a good show.
Did you also see the old one? The old one is very good,
Not
too.
the British one,
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
It's also very good. If you get a chance to check that one out, it's very good. But I really did love the new House of Cards. Very well done.
Very good.
Yeah,
and there was a teaser poster of the Series 2 coming out soon.
Really?
Best TV Series Drama went to Breaking Bad. Best Original Song in a Motion Picture is Ordinary Love by U2. Best Original Score, Alex Ebert from All Is Lost. That's a movie starring Robert Redford, where he hardly speaks. It's kind of like Castaway. I haven't seen it either. Huh. Best Screenplay, Spike Jonze for Her. Jared Leto wins Best Supporting Actor for Dallas Buyers Club. And Amy Adams wins Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy for American Hustle, a film I have not seen yet. If you guys have not seen Lone Survivor, make sure to go check out that movie. American Hustle, pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good. There were parts that were like really awkward for me, but like the acting felt awkward sometimes. But there were parts that I was like, yeah, that is really well done.
Well, they all have accents, right? And it's in the 80s or 70s.
Yeah, and I'm from the South, so I always think they're like, whenever I hear like all those northern accents, I always feel like it's like, I don't know. So I always think it's just silly because I'm like, it's funny. They're all like gangsters or something. He.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like a player is stuck, physically stuck where he is in his chair. He cannot move. He's calling his parents for help right now.
We're stuck in our chairs.
No, I was just kidding. We're chained to the desk, guys, until the broadcast is over.
Producer Sean has a small key.
Yep.
There is these are handcuffs on our ankles, and they're padded so as they do not jangle when we move our feet.
It's not true. We can get up at any time.
No, we can't. Well, maybe you can. Did you get yours off?
I can. I've been doing this for a while.
Clutch got his off.
I have tenure in this office at the studio.
I don't.
Well, it is unfortunate. The player's probably stuck somewhere within the game or with his internet. So that being the case, we're going to have to be here for a little while longer. I want to remind everyone to please tweet at us at WGLNA to send us your favorite class, light, medium, heavy, tank destroyer, or artillery. And we will send you a gold code if we like what you send. Send us a picture, description, maybe a screenshot of your stats. The code is for 2,100 gold, 200,000 credits, and 7 days of premium. If you already have a code from us, give it to a friend. Give it to somebody that's just starting out in World of Tanks, and they will accelerate into playing with you, maybe purchasing a premium tank to play on the higher tiers with you. I gotta tell you what, man. World of Tanks, a lot more fun when you play with people you know.
Definitely.
To play with pubs.
Yeah.
It's still as fun with pubs.
I'll solo pub a lot just because I play differently when I'm in a platoon, but there have been times, I think one of my favorite platoons always was with Trouble 2. He was on Ermengarde Turnover in Season 1. Remember him?
How could I forget?
Oh, yeah.
Great guy. You came here. We had a great interview with him.
Very memorable person, yeah. Platooning him with him was great. We started making little videos called Forward's the Best Direction. They're not very good or anything, but we just going forward, not stopping until we were on pretty much the other side of the map, and then completely owning tanks. Just 10 or so kills, or getting so many kills, it was disgusting. It was really fun playing with him like that. Best platoons for me.
We're back in action on Cliff. Battle number 4, top tier versus no limit. Let's battle.
And taking a look at the tanks, guys, they're all the same. If there's a disconnect, everyone's the same tanks, unless we have to replace someone. But T-32s, Uperlichen, E-63, Memory Leak and T-69, Explosion Man, 1390, Valleccio, WZ-132, mounting the 85. And on the other side, 3 5100s, Mexican Sea Otter and Squirrel. Urtai and Static in 1390s, and T-1s will be Agamemnon, Backstas, Floppy Giraffe, and Rasta. So really slow lineups, I think, out of both of these teams. Valleccio will be able to scout, but there's a little risk because the amount of time it takes to get to the middle of the map, 1390s can begin an engagement very quickly.
That's true. The 5100s, again, that burst damage is very effective, but in the mid to long range game, when they have to reload and you have these other tanks, these consistent fire tanks, that's when they prove to be just outmatched, outgunned, outplayed. Valleccio fires, misses, but it's a consistent fire tank.
Yeah, but that would have been great to get that early damage. Floppy Giraffe, though, is spotted. Valleccio lining up for a Floppy Giraffe. Doesn't zero, misses the shot. Floppy is now home free. Big misses out of Valleccio.
Is this an east side push?
Possibly. Wow. Very interesting, but it's spotted. It's all spotted.
Yeah,
Sea otter,
they were spotted.
squirrel
Well, they're going to
are
hang
all
back.
spotted.
And I think they're going to try to bait them to move a little bit more
That
forward.
would be smart. Knowing
and then
that
have
you're
a
spotted.
two-shot approach. Static falls back. and he goes
It
back
will
to
be a
his teammates.
trap. And we may see actually top tier move forward, expecting that push. Yeah, E63 might lead the charge, but there will be 5100s with them possibly, or an all-around east side push. I'm seeing 1390s even leaving now. E63 peeks out, but he's not spotting anything yet. Oh, he does spot Squirrel Tag as he moves away, but the 1390s have left as well. So there's not going to be any split out of No Limit. Smart move from No Limit. This is looking pretty good for them. Top tier, of course, having just lost a battle, might be feeling a little bit weird because Velatio was not there. He sat out, but he will be watching the southeast, looking for that flank. And they're hearing SOSs from tanks.
Well, if they're not spotting anyone to the north, one of them should climb up toward the lighthouse if they're free enough to get up there.
Velatio would be the best choice to do that, but he's not. He's actually scouting to the southeast. Interesting choice. And I'm actually seeing Explosion
Shot
Man.
fired from Static into the side of Velatio. Static trying to line up another one in his 1390. Not happening yet.
Well, Velatio's in cover.
Oh, yeah, he's able to get memory leak on that shot. Static 2 for 2.
Nice shots,
Waits
actually.
for another one.
Explosion Man actually is out on the flank. He's out in the west, covering the T1 approach.
And another
so there's
one in
only
the
4.
T32 from Urtai. And another one. This is not looking good for this side of top tier against No Limit.
Uperlichi does cover his battle buddy for a moment, allows E63's tracks to repair and him to back off. Looks like top tier is deciding that because they're not able to spot anything, that they're just going to back off. So I think that was passive spotting from some tier 8s and then fire from others. Really interesting to see that actually coming into play here and working pretty well. Health pool's pretty low for top tier. And actually, they're going to start, I think, putting cap pressure on Velatio.
They are. They are. They're going up to the north, and here is the surround back from No Limit around the east side. The T1s that stayed behind, Floppy Giraffe closer to the entrance to the east, does spot the T32s and the T69 from far away. And the T69 Durasta will be up to the north. He's going to see 1, 2, 3 tanks. So he's not going to see him yet, but he does see on his indicator that 3 tanks are up there with 26 seconds left for the flag cap.
All right, that is good. He can hold his fire as long as he needs to, but the fight in the north, will they be able to stop them long enough? 16 seconds left. E63 might catch fire if he takes more fire. He does, and he's actually going to burn all the way down. Uberlichi down to 76. One more hit will take him down. And now there are tanks breaking out. 4 seconds left. Will the T1 is actually down. 1 second, 0. Top tier is going to take this one an easy cap victory.
Nice play coming out of No Limit at the beginning, but Velatio was able to lead his team with those T1s to go for the flag cap, and once they knew where those heavies were, all the consistent fire tanks were going to unload on those tanks, tracking, doing damage, keeping them far away from the flag cap. 3 tanks, put it on the flag cap, go for it, and have the other tanks stay behind cover, forcing the rest of No Limit to get out of cover to stop the pressure.
Really just unfortunate right there.
Yeah.
It was a cute strat, though, by No Limit. It really looked like they were going to win, actually, as far as the brawl was considered. From what I was seeing, they got better damage out. They destroyed those T32s with ease, but they didn't react fast enough to the cap pressure, and because of that, top tier wins it out. Pretty easy for them. Unfortunate. I thought No Limit was looking like they were going to have a comeback there. I was seeing momentum. I was seeing smart play, new play. With those 5100s and 1390s, and they very smartly baited and played with the heads of their opponents. Much more than just a simple east side strat. I loved that out of No Limit. It's too bad.
I like the ingenuity coming out of it, and I think with more polish and practice and maybe a slightly different tank lineup and choices, it could prove to be another effective strategy teams can bring to Cliff. We're going to take a break, our halftime break. When we come back in 10 minutes, Fulcrum Gaming versus Hammer Time in match number 4. Followed by Spurglords and Nerve. You do not want to miss Fulcrum versus Hammer Time. Both teams are undefeated, 4-0. Only one will remain undefeated after this series. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the Gold League for World of Tanks after this.